Je m'appelle Gareth Farmer. Je suis venu à Shakespeare Company hier. J'ai acheté un livre de Raymond Queneau. J'ai compris que ma poésie est composée dans l'ombre de Raymond Queneau. Gareth sont expérimenté son esprit. Mais je vais lire en anglais a poem collection or selection that I've been writing for 211 days. And I'm going to be reading a series of these poems, one of which je traduis en français. And I also have reading copies up here. If people would like to follow along the English, you can take it away to read if it gets too tricky. So I'm going to read these poems, which are written every day and posted on a website. I gave to the Eternal Flame 150 of these poems on Thursday, and I'm going to continue and give as many as I can within a small space of time. But I'll read, and I hope you enjoy. Number 149. She outlines the plot's complexity by way of asides, striding towards a moral which also palliates with empathy. Catching her words is like translating dissonance into whole proofs of intellect. Like yourself as a sharpened tool, such kindness and grace mimics a maternal favour. Conversation spooled as fine bubbles and anti-trained induced. Favours words as tomp gauges. You fancy yourself being able to prize wise sense from such ornate artifice, as if time becomes a pattern squared and sharp as tight carbon. 148. This is found text from Harry Potter. To everyone's delight, except Harry's, there was to be another Hogsmeade trip, the very last. 148. J'ai traduit un poème pour cet événement aujourd'hui. Fermé dans un visage duet avec le social. 140. Posted on March 21st, 2014. Reeling with extras and beneficent updates, calamitous self-careening, as if entranced. Ask who and by, the answers will nod in key, add-ons witnessing progress. I tried to translate this next one, but I couldn't. Je suis désolé. 139. Statements in blank, bland remembrance trick out as you gaze at the once capacious and concern yourself with what once was and will. In words once of you, but now resemble past tense. 138. Squeezing towards a bitter phrase with which to persuade of thought's direction, the pressed juice curdles at poetical reasoning and congeals smugly. 137. Profounding symbols does not make profounded insight, nor foundations of the way. 136. Advice should draw from a fertile ground, plump with accumulated struggle of labour, soaked with the sweat of sapient sacrifice, curved with the striations of furrowed brows, not present like this, here, in an easy chair, with this mug in this hand. 135. So many similes order up anecdotes, like methods conveying dialogue, the literal rhetoric, evidencing last night's jovialities like a past tense horror of selfies. If anyone is lost, by the way, they can follow along my poetry by picking up one of these. and they have the numbers on them. De rien. 134. This is about applying to academic jobs, which, for anyone that has done that, is a hellish enterprise. Oui, to read, oui. Oui, merci. All this muddle, this is 134, 134. All this muddled huff for the competitive edge acts like a barb to conscience and makes knaves of us all, or at least those whose hats thud the central gladiatorial ring and requests of the complacently enlisted, are you not entertained? 133, 133. This is in memoriam Tony Benn, who was a wonderful British parliamentarian who died at the age of 80-odd recently. He was probably the last bastion of the left in England, in Britain, left. Adrift in a mire, a raft in a quag, assured in apt ire, secure as backfire, a puff of the shag, sure eye through the fog. 132. Receive your egress with bored stoicism. Entered it casually and calmly as auditable. Eventuality looks weary, although boredom abates as the negatory is knighted as original. 131. This is about a recurring theme in my life and poetry, which is about guilt and shame. Shame, an attaché. Blame, a coup de grace. Frame, a way to say. Maim, a formal complaint. 130. If I/you am/are inactive, does that mean inactivity inures to my/your innards, like a characteristic or a trait or a flaw or... Maggie says her name, sweetly, as if to invite remonstrances from those uncomfortable with such confidence and complacent joie de vivre. Pickled memories pass mustard up the windpipe, like viewing such health in her eyes and teeth, and react retching with longing for a parallel. Active life of unthought and activity unhealthily. 129. Too many, or two, coincidences coalesced to enable slumbering metaphysics, a birth, widened a toric reception of a simple void as a moment in image clarity, or frisson. 128. Minutiae enlivens, or its thought as distraction from the pomp of grand plans and fervid acts. 127. This child's shaky, dark crayon is both innocent and sinister, as words and Lacan nestle and jostle, sister shadows in fatal, infantile embrace, trace of each in each other, always, always. 126. Accepting the murmur, you mask indifference adeptly, like butter wouldn't entertain the notion of nether views, enlatticed with turpitude and contrariety. I was slightly ill recently, and I decided that a way to get out of my illness was to focus on details. I didn't know what it meant, but it was a recurrent phrase. Merci. 125. Focus on the detail, 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 focus on the detail. Imperative, to focus on the detail. Interrogative, are you focusing and controlling the details?